sure that everybody have an opportunity to work together with MMA. So welcome to our virtual town hall meeting. This is the first time we've done this. There's been some requests with parents to get more transparency about what's happening at MMA and what we're doing. So thank you all for logging on. We want to get you updated about, who we are and what we're doing. I'm Miss Janina, the head of school. We have staff people that are on here, Miss Michelle, who's the assistant principal at MMA, as well as the director of Second Home. And I know Mr. John and Miss Renee is here from our team, as well as a couple of the teacher, Miss E. If I missed anybody, Miss Harris is here, I see, as well as Miss Renee. So welcome, welcome. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with this quote: if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But by all means, move, keep moving. That was Dr. Martin Luther King. As you all know, we are celebrating Black History Month. And that quote reminds us of all the things we've been through. We've been through a lot these last couple of years, even with COVID and our education. And so we've really been talking to kids and pushing kids and staff about running and walking. And even if you can't, I need you to keep trying. If you got to crawl to it, make it happen. But we have to keep moving. And that's kind of been my whole culture in the building as well. And so I hope you guys see that we are moving forward as it relates to our academics here. Hopefully our school superintendent, Ms. Carey, will join us, and she can also give her feedback on this particular town hall meeting. But our goal is to keep supporting you and making sure that your kids get what they need. So thank Dr. Martin Luther King for that quote. Our theme this year was Grow With Us, so thank you. I think we've done some growing and we still have a lot of growing to do. But we thank you for your partnership, the parents, and all the things you've done, as well as the staff and teachers. We're asking a lot of them, and they're showing up and doing their best. But these meetings and conversations are really important. That's why I'm so happy you all jumped on, because we really want to hear from you. So I'm just going to give you an overview, and most of the time will be with you guys asking any questions or concerns you may have. This is an opportunity. It's a town hall meeting. That means you are able to speak up as a parent in this community and say, hey, these are my concerns, or hey, I want to see this, or hey, we need this. We want to strengthen our community. And so we only can grow if we have your feedback. Miss Rima's on here too. Hey, Miss Rima. All right, so one thing is up. It's time for re-enrollment. I know you all probably noticed I've been harassing you all to get on Power School. I want to thank you for doing that. That's new for us, but we want to be transparent about the grades, the attendance. So you must re-enroll. We can't automatically re-enroll your child by state law. You have to re-enroll your student. And the way you do that is that we are going through Power School this year. I know there's been some concerns with that. So I want to take a couple minutes to go through it, not very long. But we have a deadline this Friday for re-enrollment. After that, after Friday, all people from all over in the community can start to take those spots. So we cannot hold your spot if you have not re-enrolled. We're going to have a couple of issues with first and second grade because those are pretty heavy classes. And so those classes will fill up pretty quickly unless your student re-enroll. So please, we are in the office. We can help you re-enroll. We know Power School has been a challenge. So thank you for your patience with that. But we know once you get your username and password and you're in there, you don't have to go through all what we've been asking you to do. So as we are thinking about how to get in there, hopefully you can see that my screen changed. You go to create an account. Once you create a new account, you put the student name in, your email address, and your desired username. You have to write down your username and password because we don't have access to that. The issue is a lot of people don't have access to their student access code and password. We sent it out in the beginning of, I don't know, probably January, but we do have that. So you will need your access ID and your password because that's how they connect your student and Power School. Once you get that information, then you can be able to connect. They'll send you an email verification saying, hey, thank you for signing up. You have to connect it. It's been in people's spam email, so please check your spam. And then once you're connected, you can sign back in and you'll be able to see attendance. You'll be able to see their grades. You'll be able to see the different things that we're doing, a message board. So I really hope this is helpful. If you are having a hard time, please come to the school. We have a computer ready to set up. Anytime on your schedule, we are here to work with you all to make sure that you get into Power School. It is something that we want to make sure you guys do. You will love it once you get it in there and you get to see those grades. And it holds teachers accountable for updating their grades and you having those conversations and not waiting 10 to 12 weeks to know what's going on with your student. You should know if your student is not doing well. So Power School is an accountability on the parent as well as the teacher to input grades and for you to have those important conversations about where your student is. So again, I know it's been a challenge, but you put your name here, your information. I mean, you put the student name at the top, you put your information down here, and at the very bottom, you put the access code and password. I'm going to stop for a second because I want to make sure if anybody have any questions, I can answer those questions. Anybody have any Power School questions that I can answer right now? Again, you can come to the office. Miss Kelly, Mr. John was excellent. I can help you. It doesn't take but maybe 5 minutes once we get you in the system and get you going. Any questions? And you can always type in the chat if you have questions. All right. Well, if you don't, we'll keep it moving. Just want to make sure we're on the same page with that. And thank you, Mr. John. Definitely feel free to contact us because we want to make sure that we're on the same page. Okay. Let me go ahead and go back to my PowerPoint so we can keep it moving this afternoon. It feels like morning, y'all. It's been a long day and the weather changed on us so quick. First it was 60, then it went down to 30. So I think we all may be a little bit discombobulated. Let me go back into the presentation. So Power School is what we're doing. Please make sure you re-enroll. All right. Next thing up, we're talking about our trimester ending on March the 8th. Trimester 2 ends. We have been using Voyager, which is a supplement reading program for Passport. We do a kindergarten through 6th grade. We've been using our Montessori model, which is a lot of the Montessori practice pieces that really do that real hands-on learning with the curriculum. We've used Haggerty, which really focused on our kids were struggling with reading and putting sounds together, not just the letter sounds itself, how to blend letters and how to make sure they understand the syllable letters. And so kindergarten through 3rd grade have that in their classroom. And then we also introduce Step Up to Writing. The one thing that's on here that we missed out is VMath, which is our 3rd through 6th grade supplement tier 1. What we found is that our students are behind, not just because of COVID, but because they have gotten some gaps in their learning, and that's okay. So we've put things in place along with our Montessori Additional 2 model to help build interventions. Mr. John is our MTSS coordinator. Miss Renee is our reading coach. They're both on here. So if you have any questions, they'll be more than happy to take them off mute and answer those questions. But our goal is to train the staff to help the students. Our goal is to make sure our kids are learning. And it's my job as the school leader to hold the teachers accountable along with all of us working together. And so the teachers working with the students in the classroom to make sure we're working together to get this done. And so we need to move forward on our programs. There were a lot of new programs this year. So the teachers have had training, so we have to give them some grace, but we are moving forward to make sure that our kids get what they need. Our kids have to learn how to read. They have to learn how to do the math. They have to learn how to write papers. The expectations are really high. So this is what it looks like in our classroom on a daily basis using these different programs. And we're talking about this because we have a report card with the state of Michigan. They give us the NWA and they give us the MSTEP. NWA is a test we have to take saying, what are you teaching your students? What are they learning? It's not something we always want to take, but we have to take it because everyone gets a report card. And so this test, NWA in the spring, is really important because it gives us an indication of where we got to go and how much learning we have to do. As a parent, you have to understand like where your student is and how you can help build their capacity to move forward. All of our students at MMA have been working hard, and you have some amazing students. They're really smart and they really have grown. We also have the MSTEP 3rd through 6th grade, which is the state standard test, which is also our report card. And our goal is to make sure that our students can compete. And the way we do that is making sure that our curriculum is working together in order for our teachers to be trained and we work together. So for our NWA goal, we want to meet that 50 percentile. 50% of our students in that building should be having some growth, okay? When a kid gets stagnant, that's either they're bored or they're not being taught correctly. Okay. And so what we're saying is every time we take the NWA, we want to see growth. Your students should be growing. And I'm going to show you the data from fall to winter. Again, it's important for you to understand what we're doing and how the kids are doing, but you will get a copy of your NWA goals in your trimester 2 report card. Individually, you'll see how your student doing. But overall, as a school, as you can see, we met 35% of our students met their, 35% of our students met or exceeded their projected growth, and 72% of the students actually met the growth for math. So we're at about a 30 percentile. We got 20% to go. 30% of our students are moving in the right direction as it relates to meeting the math standards. Every grade level, the state says the kids need to know this, they need to know this, and need to know this. And I'm gonna be very honest with you, what you learned in kindergarten is not what the kids are learning now. They have to know more, and it's like they have to go at a pace. So sometimes it can be overwhelming for the kids, but the kids are doing well in math. They like math, and math sometimes is easier for kids sometimes because it is practice. So we're at about a 30 percentile right now for math. Again, that yellow part at the bottom should be about 50, and that's our goal. For reading, we're at 25. So we're halfway there. We need to be at 25 more percent. That's why we have 2 reading specialists part-time with Miss Renee, because she also coach. We have AmeriCorps that's in the building with the math specialist. And we have, 2 reading specialists that from AmeriCorps and 1 math specialist that just came 2 weeks ago. We just hired a school math specialist. So we have 2 math specialists, 2 reading specialists, and we're trying. That means they're pulling small groups out of the classroom during the day to give your kid more either one-on-one or small group teaching. And the teachers are teaching in the classroom in small groups and working on their work plans. So if sometimes the kids come home and say they brain hurt, it's because we're doing a whole lot to try to get them there. 34% of the kids met or exceeded their growth, but only 57% of the kids actually met their growth. So that number has to improve. It has to be at 50. And I'm excited to know that we're going to get there. We have done a lot of different programs. We know that the kids can do it. Sometimes during this testing season, we need parents. We'll prepare you. Sometimes they're clicking, and we need to make sure they're prepared to know that this test is important in the spring. The attendance of them coming is important. So that's give us, because we want them to see what they actually learn so we can do a better job in teaching it. So that is our NWA data. And I start with that because that's kind of an indicator for us how we will do on the state test as well. Does anybody have any questions about the testing or any of the academics as it relates to the curriculum or the testing that we're doing? And I'll stop sharing my screen again so that I can see everybody's faces. Any questions, any teachers or Mr. John or Miss Renee, anybody want to add anything at any time, you're welcome to do that. Y'all good? All right, let's keep it moving. If you have questions, put it in the chat and we would love to hear. Miss Michelle, you took yourself off mute?
There is a question about, is there any way we can set up after school tutoring?
So we do, last year we had Brain Spring, and that was a tutoring program where the parents had to take them to the actual facility to give reading tutoring. We are going to set that up again. We've had a hard time sustaining staff to do after school. A lot of times the staff have family and it's hard to keep them there. The YMCA, not the YMCA, I'm sorry, Boys and Girls Club, they are starting their tutoring program. So right now, the only thing we will be rolling out in March is the tutoring program that you would either have to take to your student, pick them up and take them, or they can do virtual online tutoring. So we will roll that out and you'll get a flyer. You can sign them up for that for free. Brain Spring is like one-on-one tutoring. It's a lot like Huntington Learning Center. It's real one-on-one, and it really gives the opportunity with a certified teacher teaching those kids at those centers. But it will be a no cost to the parent. It will be limited because unfortunately we don't have a lot of slots, but as the parents sign up, we will get them signed up for that. That's a great question. All right. We're going to keep it moving. Thank you for that. And I look forward to supporting you guys on that tutoring because that's so important. All right. So how can you help your students? Number one, the fact that you guys came tonight, I really appreciate it. You're invested to say what else is going on at the school. What do we need to do? Actively taking the role, coming up there and volunteer. I know we've had parents pop in, get a visitor's pass, and sit in the classroom, help and support. That is what we have to do. That's what it takes. We know you're not just spying on us. Many times y'all there to help us understand what they're learning and how they're learning. So we're open to you not only volunteering, supporting programs and activities. We want you to be invested in whatever we're doing. Communicate with the teacher. If you have concerns about your students learning, you don't know what they should be learning, the teacher should be sending updates. If you're not getting those updates, talk to the teacher. If you're still not getting what you want and you need more, then talk to me. And people like myself, Mr. John, Miss Michelle, who's been doing this for a while, we can sit down and work with you and that teacher to make sure you get what you need. Helping with homework, I want to give a shout out to the parents. These Black History Month projects have been amazing. And the reason why it's been so amazing, because they've been family projects. The fact that you guys have sat down with them, cut out those pictures, helped them write their statements, all that stuff, I tell you, it is truly, truly amazing to see y'all come in with them posters, proud. That is community learning. And the kids are presenting their posters. They're very proud of what they learned, and not only about their history, about what their parents did for them, going to the library, talking and working together. That is what we need in order for us to grow. And helping with homework is, going over the spelling words, making sure they do I Ready, reading with them every night, whatever you can do. And I know there's parents that have been over and beyond. We really appreciate that, because it is a community. We can do so much in the building, but you all can reinforce that at home. And last but not least, they have to improve their eating and sleeping habits. Man, they are sleepy during the day, and we are noticing that they're fatigued because they're not getting enough sleep. So please have a bedtime. Make sure they go to bed. Make sure they stay off all those devices. Stay off the devices. Take the devices at night, because they're not getting enough rest. And during the day, we're using a lot of brain power. And if they don't get enough sleep and they're not eating correctly, then that's going to affect their academics and how they see and how they're learning. All right. Any questions or concerns of that? You can put it in the chat, as well as Miss Renee put a Google Drive in there. You can click on that about helping to read, because at the end of the day, this is a complete effort, and we really need to make sure that whatever we're not providing, we can work together to get it. All right, y'all, I'm gonna keep it moving. All right, so attendance matter. That's the other thing you can do. You can see with the numbers, if they miss 2 days a month, that's like 20 days a year, 30 hours for math and 60 hours for writing and reading. If they're missing 4 days a month, that doubles. So that's why attendance is such a big deal. I will say overall, the school attendance has improved at MMA, and I'm very excited about that. But we cannot teach if they're not there. So continue to bring your students, because when they miss school, they're missing learning. And it's really hard to catch them up when they miss 3 or 4 lessons, and the teachers have to keep going back. It's important that they're there on time and that they're continuing to build, because they get frustrated when they're gone, because they feel like the other kids have moved, and then it's overwhelming for the teacher because they're trying to go back and reteach. And I know there's been a lot of sickness, but as much as you can get them in school consistently, that is what's going to help us move forward. Finally, use iReady at home. We have given you all Chromebooks. If you need Chromebooks, please come to the office and get one. We have more. We have chargers. iReady was a program I asked last year to get with the district. It is an online program that helps with the reading gaps of reading and math. I started off saying that our kids had some learning gaps. And what it does is it specializes. That means we take a test, and then it says, these are the 5 areas, or these are the 6 areas that the students need. And that way we can monitor them throughout the year, and it allows the teachers to upload assignments. It gives them a mini lesson. It goes through that lesson with them. They're talking to them, they're communicating with them, and then they have to pass it like a 80% or more. And I've really been pushing it at school with their work plans, but I need them to do iReady at home for 20 minutes because it's going to make a difference. Students that have done iReady consistently here have made gains in their NWA scores. And I do know parents are making sure they do it. We want to make sure that's consistent every night, as well as making sure that you're following up and watching what they're doing on the computers. So use iReady at home. If you need their login password, we got you. We will get you covered on that, as well as you can talk to Ms. Kelly at the main office, and we will get you a Chromebook because it's important that we provide those things, because we are asking a lot. But I know if they use that specialized, personalized, custom-made learning program, it's fun and it will help them. They play computers and devices anyway, so 20 minutes a night on this is not going to be that big of a deal for them. And it is focused on past lessons. We want them to pass that lessons, because every lesson they pass, they're gaining a new skill. They're gaining the skills that they have lost or they need to still learn. All right, so do iReady at home. And reading 20 minutes a night is critical. This is a map that shows you kids that read 20 minutes a night with their parents or with their siblings. You can see how many minutes per year they're learning and how many words. One of the things that our students struggle with is vocabulary, understanding words and how they work. And the only way you can learn vocabulary and build your capacity is reading. The more words, the more exposure you get to literacy and understanding how words are used, they become better readers. They have to practice. So it's just not them sounding out the words. They need fluency. They need to be reading every night. We have an epic.com, and every teacher will have an account by next week where we will, on your Chromebooks, they can go to epic.com and a teacher will give them that. And there's thousands of books they can be read to them or they can read by themselves. So again, we have the one-on-one. We're trying to get more programs to help you, because I know sometimes you're like, well, what books should I get them, Shanina? Well, we're going to give you that information through epic.com. We're going to pay for the subscription, and then you can use it at home starting in March, and we can work together so that they have a lot of variety of books. They got to read, read, read. That is so critical in order for them to improve their reading skills. Miss Renee, you want to add anything to that? My dear, I see you typing in the chat, and that's our reading coach. She also put the reading at home plan in here as well. All right, we're going to keep it moving with that. All right, so in speaking of that, because we're almost done, y'all, March is reading month. We're jumping into reading, and there's some great things we know parents can do. We want you to get involved with March's reading month. Oh, she can't unmute. Hold on 1 second. That's me. Hold on. Let me fix that for you. Give me a second, because I want you all to be able to speak. So if you can't unmute, probably other people can't unmute. Hold on. Try it now, Miss Renee. See if you can unmute yourself, please.
There we go. That one worked. I put the link in for the Read at Home plan, which tells about the 3rd grade reading law. It tells about from preschool all the way up to the higher level grades, things that you can work on at home to help your student become a better reader, fun activities that you can do for phonics, phonemic awareness, for fluency, just all the reading skills that you can help your child with at home. So take a look at that Read at Home plan. Oh, it's not opening.
Yeah, if it doesn't come as a link, we can also email it out after this meeting. I can put it on Dojo too, if you want me to.
Yeah, my technology skills apparently are not quite up to date. So I can work on that. I thought that would work. Okay, I'll work on getting that in there correctly. Thank you.
No
for your
problem.
patience.
All right, thank you so much, Miss Renee.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Mrs. Shanina.
Yep, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt, but one obvious thing that parents and families could do to assist with reading is just simply just reading to their kids every night. It's a direct correlation, and research has proven that those kids who parents are reading to them daily, nightly, are stronger readers because of the listening comprehension. So when you find time, even on the weekends, or either 10 minutes a day at night before they go to sleep, just grab them up and read with them and have those deep conversations.
Thank you for that, Mr. John. So definitely parent involvement is necessary in the reading journey. So we will get those resources on Dojo with you all, but you all reading every night to the students. The students are good for March's reading month. We're expecting reading logs. So the students will be reading every night, and hopefully you will be able to participate in that. You can come to the school and be a guest reader. We would love to have you guys come in and read to the kids. All you have to do is Dojo your teachers and talk to them, and they will communicate those needs. As well as we have a fun night event again. We're trying to do more fun night events on March 21st that will focus on reading. And we're really excited. We have a one school, one book initiative, Dragons and Marshmallows with Zoe. Every kid will be reading this book that you see on the screen. We're asking the teachers to read 2 chapters a week, and she's a scientist. And what Zoe learns is more about her critical thinking skills. So all of us in the school, kindergarten through sixth grade, will be reading this books. We'll be having activities and conversations because reading is involvement. It takes everybody working together in order for us to learn how to read. All right, so that is jumping into reading month. We also have parent universities here. We've had a company called the Bennett's, and they did a great job this month at game night, giving out lots of prizes and gifts and things. I hope parents on here had an opportunity to go, but they will be here once a month providing more resources for you, because I know as a parent, you don't know what to do all the time. So these resources, so Miss Ebony Bennett, who is a certified teacher as well as a special ed teacher, has done this for many, many years. She's going to be providing a lot of resources as well as some cool gift cards and trinkets for learning gear for you to be at home. So join us once a month from 4 to 5. We try to do things right after school so that you don't have to keep coming back and forth. The social discipline, social conscious plan, which is our conscious discipline focus, is we know that if our kids don't have a calm mind, it's hard for them to learn. And we've been really focusing on how do you feel and breathing with them. And so our last assembly focused on like the different breathing techniques. And so this is what you can do at home when a student is overwhelmed, they're having anxiety. You can literally just ask them how they're feeling and breathe with them. And you will find, and research will show you, that the brain starts to calm down. So then the frontal lobe of their brain can actually communicate and express. And also it helps you when you're taking a deep breath, because I know it helps me as a parent. So when we're all working together with learning how to work with our kids that are struggling, because a lot of kids have things that are going on at home and we're expecting them to learn. Well, if I'm not calm and I don't understand what I'm learning, I am going to act up. Or if I'm having issues or problems at home or at school, I am going to act up. So this learning, working together is important. And we have kids that have trauma and behavioral issues. We're not perfect. A lot of kids came out of COVID with significant behavioral social skill issues. It is it is serious an epidemic of behavioral issues across this country because of what COVID did to kids. And so we're trying to re-enter them into a community of learning and structure. And some of them are resistant. So as a parent, you talking to them about how they feel and following up with breathing activities, it goes a long ways. Anybody has any questions about the parent universities or the conscious discipline? I'm going to learn how to take you off mute, or one of my co-hosts can take you off mute if you want to raise your hand.
I put a note in there that on the pre-K side, we have quite a few books that were donated to us that our pre-K check out weekly. But if you, I mean, they're late leveled pre-K to 3, but you're more than welcome to come over to the pre-K side and grab some books. There's a whole bunch of them there, so come visit us.
Yay. And if you need books, we have the book fair you guys paid into. We can order more books. At the literacy night on March 21st, we're giving out a lot of book kits. It's all about books. It's all about reading. So if you're not sure what kind of book to buy your student, we can help you do that as well. But yes, we have plenty of books at the school. So please don't feel like you have to go out and buy things. We can help you with those resources. Any questions on the parent university or social conscious discipline, which is our social emotional learning program? As you know, Miss Shanae is our student advocate, and she really works hard with the students to trying to help with running those small groups and troubleshooting throughout the day about those issues, as well as Mr. Ben is our social worker that works with those kids in those small groups to make sure they're getting what they need. You guys okay? And again, I hopefully can learn how to unmute everybody. So let me stop for a second and see if I can. Okay, so you should be able to unmute yourself if you need to at this time. I was not letting you guys unmute. That's probably why you couldn't talk. But if you have anything, you can go unmute. All right, I'm going to keep it moving. So we are almost done. There's some building updates I'm excited about that we will be doing. I'll have more announcements on that, but it's my goal to keep that building updated. I know that we've been there a while. And so last year we did the bathrooms. There's been just conversations about, we've updated the blinds, we've cleaned the building. We've already hired another cleaning company last year. They've been working throughout the year. I want the building to be presented. I want the building to be fresh and new. And so I am working with the board and our school superintendent to do more projects such as the floors, such as what we can do about a playground, such as continue to paint up and making sure that we get the top facilities. That is a priority for me. I think the way you come into the building, it makes a difference. That's why we got the security doors. That's why we got the cameras. That's why we painted. That's why we did the bathrooms. And we're going to continue to update that building. Our kids deserve high quality building. And so I am advocating, and we are working really hard on that to make sure that we are going to do everything we can to make sure that that building is where it needs to be. My biggest goal is whatever you need, we will try to provide. I will have more updates about the playground because I know that's came up in about a couple of weeks. We just got to get some information to the board. It's a process, but we are on board to make sure that those kids get a playground that's going to work for us. And I know that Miss Michelle has been here for a long time, and I know it's a priority for our community to make sure those kids can go out and play and have a real playing experience. So let's just say that it's going to happen. It's all in due time. And once that process happens, we're going to make sure we communicate it with you all because you are part of this community. So you should have a say so. You should have opinions of what you think and how it should look. So we're going to be involving the students and parents in that process and making sure that we continue to be on one accord. Any updates on anything else that I missed, Michelle or Mr. John? I saw you guys put a couple things in the chat. All right. My last slide is questions. What questions and feedback you have, we want to hear. It's important that we hear from you all. We would love for you all, if you've had a really good experience with us, to go write a review. It's important that people hear about you. You can screenshot this particular, and this presentation will be sent out, but you can go ahead and screenshot this QR code. We want to hear your feedback, good, bad, or indifferent. We want to make sure that we improve. I know coming in as a school leader, there's been a lot of changes, and Michelle's been here. I am committed to make sure we do what we need to do, but we can't fix what we don't know. So please make sure you reach out, give the review, come in. We want to help you all, help your students. And so it does take all of us working together, getting them there on time, calling and working with the teacher. If you have a problem or concern, we'll work through it. Y'all know they have kids. You know they're kids, so they're going to have problems, but we can always solve it because we're one community and we're going to grow together. And so collectively, if you have concerns, we want to hear it. It's not about people being perfect. It's about people learning together to make sure that we get what we need. So please go ahead and give us a review. But I'm going to stop sharing because if you have questions, I would love to hear from you all. That is my presentation. I just want to make sure that you're caught up on everything and that you have an opportunity to share your feedback and what you feel that we need to do as a community. So everybody can unmute themselves at this time if they want, or you can put concerns and questions in the chat. This is an open floor conversation.
You have a question. So if I have a concern about my kid, I'm not sure, let's say, for example, I'm noticing that their behaviors at home is different than what I'm used to, or either I'm getting a lot of calls from the teacher, a lot of messages from the teacher saying there's some behavior concerns, or if it's an academic concern. For example, I know that my kid is seeming like they're behind and they're not catching on, and I need additional support. What is the process for that?
So we want you to start with the teacher. You really want to start with the teacher and say, hey, how can we partner together? It's hard to hear not good things about your kid. I know I have one, and when I get a bad report, I'm like, what? But it's not a reflection on you. So please, let's not, kids are development. Every kids have development stages. Every kid struggles through their own stages. You all remember being kids. It's not easy even these days. So start with the teacher. And then from there, we do have a leadership team with Miss Shanae, who has a referral process. Teachers know they have to write up a referral if it's serious behavior, and they have to call in support. That's her doing check-ins. We might have a team care plan. There's different things we do, but it takes the teacher starting that process with the parent, and then we follow up on those behaviors. From there, we do have parent meetings. Sometimes we do take consequences. We do have to send kids home, but we can't just do snap suspensions and send kids home anymore. It doesn't work like that with the state of Michigan. because the state said these are development kids. You have to give them an opportunity to teach the behavior you want. So just like we teach academics, we're expected to teach them the expectation. That's why we do the positive behavior intervention programs. And that's why teachers have to have a tight classroom management plan as well. So I would say start with the teacher. If you feel like you're not getting it there, come talk to me. We'll get Ms. Shanae and other people involved, because sometimes kids do copy each other behaviors, and sometimes they're overwhelmed, and we have to figure out the why in order to figure out how we can solve the problem. Kids are not being disrespectful and don't want to listen for no reason. There's a reason for that, and it's our job to figure out the why and come up with the plan to help the kids. I mean, it's hard. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's hard, especially if you got being a teacher in the classroom with all these different personality behaviors. But ultimately, kids need structure and they need to be disciplined, and we need that follow-up with the parent to help us come up with a plan. I hope that answered the question. Thank you, Mr. John, for reaching out and saying that. Anybody else? You guys a quiet bunch, but I'm here to help. Miss Michelle's here to help. We're all here to help. Anything you have, please, please speak up.
I'm gonna just take a moment too to piggyback off what Ms. Nina said. I'm also available for parents that have been with the school for a while. If you'd want to come to me, if you want to, you know, come bounce an idea off me, a concern off me, I have no problem with that. So between the two of us, you know, we're both there for that. And there are things that your kids will come home and do that unfortunately it's not something you think that they've or know that they've seen in your house, but they do pick stuff up at school. But please, we can't fix that if we're not aware of it either. I mean, that goes as far down as the pre-K level.
I was yesterday.
That's true. We all have to work together as a team. Thanks, Michelle. What things would you all like to see at the school? Is there anything that the school missing that you would like to see more of? Or is there something at the school that's bothering you that you would like to see less of? Any feedback from anybody on the call? You can always write in the chat too if you need to.
Yeah, Miss Shanina, what is your vision from now until June? What do you hope to come out of the rest of this year? What should parents expect?
Well, we have about 72 days of school left, and within 72 days, we have a spring break and the hot weather. And so it's our goal we've been doing some coaching cycle in those classrooms, working with teachers to get that 50 percentile in math and reading. I want to see us at that 50 percentile. That means 50% of our schools, 50% of our students or more is meeting their projected growth. And so I am pushing teachers. I'm in the classroom. I'm being tough principal right now, holding everybody accountable for work plans, conversations, making sure that we're all on the same page of those small group times, because the state is holding me accountable as well. And so, you know, my biggest thing is what can we do to help so that we can make sure that the kids are on track? So in the next 70 days is pushing those academics, doing a lot of reminders, reaching out to you all to get more involved in ways that we can do things, as well as have some fun. You know, there's some field trips coming up. We're in the spring, we have more parent activities involvement, trips and lots of different dances. So we're hoping to see more of you all in the building. We've had some good things this school year, but we want to build on that capacity, including this year is the first year we'll take the end of the school year cookout, second home and MMA. We rented out a big pavilion. We're going to have a big old cookout. Everybody's going to be out there. I don't know how we're going to get it done, but we're going to get it done. And we're just going to enjoy each other. There's a splash park and just really have an opportunity to celebrate each other, because everybody has their own struggles they're going through. But it's my vision that if we all talk things out and come up with a plan, then that is how things work. So pushing academics, having some fun, and addressing any concerns or issues. I want to make sure that your issues are addressed in a way that you feel like your student is moving forward. I got a couple things in the chat. Thank you, Miss. That's important. Some notices with Spirit Weeks and Dance. I definitely want to say that is important because y'all believe in Spirit Week and planning the kids. They'd be really, really excited about it. So we will definitely work on that. The thing about the dances, and this is parent involvement, It all depends on like if we can sell the tickets or not, right? So we're going to try our best. We try in a month in advance, but you know how people be paying at the last minute. If we don't have so many ticket sales, and we have to keep pushing it back and keep pushing it back. But we're had Miss Kemper playing the last dance, the first grade parent, and it turned out well. But we need more parent involvement to get involved, because when parents say come buy the tickets and get involved, they tend to turn on real quicker to me. They tend to respond. So we're going to do a better job. And we know that you guys, hopefully you know that you can help us plan activities. And if you want to see a certain kind of dance or an activity, just let us know. We're in the process of planning our calendar for next year. And you're like, hey, Miss Janine, I really want to see this. Or Miss Michelle, can we do this? Yeah, especially if you're willing to help us plan it and all that. We will do that for sure. Question about second home.
Yep. So, Dina, second home, the application for pre-K for next year is already open. I'm also going to announce that you will start seeing the name of second home transforming over to Macomb Montessori. So when Macomb Montessori first opened, they were the ones that housed GSRP, the pre-K program. When I came over in 2014, we decided to open second home due to the high demands for GSRP in our area. The demands for GSRP in our area are still high. However, there's a lot more schools and daycares that offer it. So Second Home's website will always be open. However, we're going to be Macomb Montessori Academy pre-K. I will still be the director. It will still be the same exact program that we have now that maybe you've already been a part of, but I just don't want you to worry if you start seeing the Second Home name kind of slowly. I don't think it'll ever go away, but slowly just sit there. That word I can't spit out right now. But yes, the pre-K is open. You can go to Macomb Montessori's website, click on the pre-K. It's on there. It says pre-K application, or you can go directly to Second Home's website.
Thank you. We're just going to be one school. That's what is she talking about? Just one school, one voice, and we're moving towards that. We really appreciate you all. Thank you for the love in the chat. You guys coming in and taking a risk on me as a school leader and all my staff. We really appreciate you all. We're not perfect, but we're willing to work hard and talk with you about it. That's how communities get through things. They learn how to fight together, work together, come together. And it's okay. We don't always agree, but it's important that we get to the bottom of it. Because at the end of the day, it's about the kids. It really is about the kids. And so we can put our differences aside to make sure these kids get what they need. And I am committed and with Michelle to make sure, along with Mr. John and Renee and our superintendent, Miss Carrie, to make sure that you guys get what you need. So thank you. Thank you. Unless you guys have questions, I'm going to stay on with anybody that's willing to ask, maybe private questions, and I'll turn off the recording at this time. But I really, really appreciate your commitment, your partnership. Make sure you re-enroll your student if you haven't already. And we look forward to keep rocking and rolling. There's a big and better things coming from MMA. I'm really excited. We're just getting started, and we definitely, definitely appreciate your support. Thank you guys so much.